either team. So both going a little bit outside of the box. The Neon, the no duelist, I still don't want to say it. Chamber doesn't count. But it's definitely going to be interesting already. Straight away, a push down mid. That's going to be the plays out from Artis, is putting that pressure on his opponents very early on.
Yeah, we'll see that a lot as time is to come. An interesting battle later for Patatech, perhaps, as we've already seen the duel on the B site. As you can see, Team Heretics with a lot of control, and that's opened up the door for this later play by Patatech. He's making his way up. The door has been closed. He's just about missing his timing on getting around that, but he'll try to go for spawn. That means the players in B main need to hold on. The time now, much more valuable to them if they can delay NAVI. And you can see they've got some stuff to work with already. A shock dart fired through to deter some spams as well, and a kill connected, but Patatech's been found. Their flankers down. Now most of the round relies on these spams, blindly firing through a smoke. Someone could be defusing, but there's no panic from Team Heretics. They feel like they've got this one under control. The kills are matching up. The tap again confirms that they're going for a classic out, but not in time. Miniboo's picked up a triple, and Team Heretics have picked up a pistol round.
Yeah, a solid start for them off of the bat, just getting in on the after plant. Retake didn't really have too much legs to it either. I will say as well, obviously, we are playing on the patch now that has the changes with Chamber. Not massive, but the main thing is going to be that cost. Like, having the ability to get more of those bullets in on the pistol round is one of the major things, and obviously the operator's slightly better, I guess.
Yeah, well,
little bit. Shoots a bit faster. I'll be honest.
A tiny bit.
I was speaking with Lothar, and I was like, if teams, well, he said, if teams genuinely change because of the few changes that have been made, they probably shouldn't be playing Chamber in the first place.
You're right. Like, you know, how often have we seen a Chamber need that extra split second on the ult? A tiny bit of a faster fire rate to save the day. Yeah, the impact is going to be 1 in a million, if even. Maybe less. But I don't know that it's worth picking up when you're only looking to play 26 rounds or so. For Team Heretics, round under the belt, investment is decent. We've seen this a million times. In fact, we see it from NAVI most often. 3 rifles and 2 pistols. Gives them a little bit of wiggle room. If they lose a player, maybe 2, they can still reinvest and the economy will be okay. On the side of NAVI, that becomes the name of the game. Doing the damage, taking those weapons out of their hands. It is just hard to do when there's 2 players without rifles who are willing to save those over. They need a lot of kills without the weaponry that really allows them to do that.
Like, just looking at this composition from NAVI, it feels like it has to be a pretty good defensive side. Either that or you're going to need Angel to be entering. Oh, wait.
7
he
shots?
Always entries.
He does. One of the big advantages, though, is the fact that he can afford so many of those headhunter bullets now. For Artis, 7 in the back pocket. He only needs 5 at the best of times.
Oh, he's hitting every shot.
We'll see if it's the worst of times for him. He's got some backup as well, some bodies to distract. Good chance for damage.
I think the main thing for them, though, is just going to be not having any sort of movement abilities to get them back in. The utility is going to have to be Sublime, and the stun to start with was pretty damn good. But even still, it's the same sort of afterplant for Heretics, just happy to sit back and wait for them to push.
No other choice needs to be made, but now you start to sweat a little bit. There's those 2 kills already in. Still a couple of shots left. The Headhunter's out of bullets, though, and Artis is out of time, taken down quite quickly, leaving Sugetsu. Okay, nice shot. Damage is done. 1 rifle has been lost. Can he make it 2? Can he pull them into the duel? Yes! They're trying to deny the defuse, and they've lost another! 19 HP in the difference. Sure, NAVI didn't win the round, but realistically, we never really expected them to. Getting 4 kills, that's a lot more than Heretics ever should have let them away with.
Yeah, it's definitely messy. And I think even just the bait towards the end shows that maybe they're a little bit worried on the other side. I will say, though, Miniboo is 1 orb away from getting that overdrive. And it's one of those ultimates that it feels like it either does a lot or nothing. Like it's very little in terms of middle ground, but I do feel like he has been someone right at the top of the board in pretty much every single statistics. I was talking about it earlier. Him and his brother top almost every chart in some manner or another.
Yeah, it's actually unreal, especially for a debut from a player like Miniboo. We talk a lot about nerves and, oh, you can do it at tier 2. Doing it at this level is different. Well, he's been able to do it. Not this time, though. Shut down quickly. 2 brothers, and they're both out of the server. Zipan makes sure of that. 4 versus 3. A good fight from NAVI in this round. Team Heretics have a lot to recover on, and even Patatech getting that kill. He's down to 11 HP. Benji, Fishy, and Rians are going to have to do a lot.
Yeah, we actually have, in this server right now, the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 in terms of ADR. So just the raw damage alone, off the charts. Obviously, both these teams kind of skipped their way through by going 2-0 in their matches. So, I mean 2-0 overall. Obviously, a map lost by Na'Vi. Riens has managed to sneak his way quite far up. The flash solid to help him out as well. Patatek's position is known. The flash came from somewhere, and because of that, Sugetsu's going to be able to clear him. But even still, it's the same after plant again. A 2v2 scenario. Utility, shock darts available. A dart as well, just to give away positions. And on the other side of things, a singular snake bite.
It's not a lot to push them back. Fired into the corner as well. Didn't even fully clear the corner. That's got to be in the back of their mind. Could be someone there. Shock darts from Riens, but he's not going to use them. It's the reveal instead. Fired out soon. It's giving away his position, and you can see Sugetsu was trained in on that angle. Well done by NAVI. And picked up the round, 1 on the board for that defensive side now.
Yeah, a decent bounce back, but still became a little bit dangerous, especially considering some of those opening battles seemed fairly favorable for them. Getting rid of a couple almost immediately. Trade's not bad, though, from Heretics. And again, I like some of the interplay. You still have to bear in mind that Riens is not here. Patatek's still a stand-in. But it does look like a team with a decent amount of synergy. For Na'Vi, financially in a good spot, but their opponents can still buy. That was a bonus. They played with a couple of weaker weapons in play, and now their overdrive is available if Miniboo finds a spot to use it.
Well, he's certainly speeding up, but the ultimate not popped just yet. Miniboo looking to fight alongside Patatek, who's already lost his life. Unfortunate timing as the swing came out. Artis found one player, and no one else ready on the trade. That's a quick pick and a fade back, obviously, because of his anchor.
And no flashes. That's probably the bigger issue. Like, how are you now going to get back into this position? Okay, you can have Miniboo just try and blitz his way through, which I imagine is the plan. He's going to take the space and try and do some damage there, but it still seems a little bit hesitant. I think Heretics, even though they've got a man disadvantage, are still expecting Na'Vi to be a little bit aggressive here.
Well, knowing the team, you're obviously going to have that expectation to play with. Sugetsu really feeding into it. He's right up against the poison orb, trying to take the fight. He's fallen back. He's now the focal point of this attack, but Artis is able to swing through, find heavy traffic, 2 quick kills, and then Zipan's on scene. Artis caught, changing weapon. As Riens finds his double, a plant, a Hunter's Fury to work with, but the paranoia wasn't used by Na'Vi. Now it's blinded Riens, kept him trapped as he fights onto Angel. They know exactly where he is. They're seizing him in. He's low HP, trying to recover. He's got a little bit of time, a little bit of space, but he hasn't heard that TP close. He's not ready for a double swing. Not ready for Angel to hit the shot right away. Second found for Na'Vi, now tying it up neck and neck. And the problem is, Tom, you know, you mentioned the last round, Heretics had kept over money. They had that little bit of reserve. Now that's all gone.
Yeah, I think you're also starting to see the dangers of what this defensive side is going to be. You're basically giving Artis a free opening duel of whether he's quicker at the shot than you are.
He is.
And he is. Most of the time, he's going to be. Oh, wow. Heretics actually rivaling the Footwatch party we saw last year as well. I didn't think anybody would get even close to that, but that's a hell of a lot of people ready to watch their team play. Obviously, that's sort of the mountain of pressure that's put on Heretics. So you talk about this team, expectations of getting top 4, I think people would have been happy with that. But now that they're 1 away, just a single match that decides everything, well, the Heretics fans are out in full force.
Well, that would be a lot of pressure regardless of the event, Tom, but considering the fact that it is in Madrid, of all places, for this squad, you can only imagine. There's no more Spanish players within the running, but there's still one Spanish organization, one chance for the home fans to have someone to cheer for on that opening day. Navi looking to break those dreams here, and perhaps they'll go in as the villains if they do. Eliminating them at such a late hurdle.
I think they always kind of do.
Yeah, true.
I'll be honest with you.
True.
I think Angel's always going to be a little bit of a villain, but I also think he enjoys it. I think he's the only person I've ever seen to tweet to not follow him.
Yeah, an unfollower giveaway.
And he gained a lot of followers from that. So they're just Angel things. Speak of the man, he shall appear. Got no utility yet left, so he might as well go pushing. Already a decent trade for the side of Heretics, but Miniboo is very low on HP. Stun does its job, but not really available to go in for the peek, and it leaves. Oh, they're actually going to peek into the aftershock. Sugetsu really wanting that kill. And while Artis using the... There you go. I knew you wanted to say it. Like, the first time, you know.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I'll tell you that. Yeah, Artis is having a lights-out game, 7-3 right now. Already burned up his ultimate in that previous round. Gave him that little bit of an eco boost. And I think for Heretics, and that lead slip out of their hands is expected. This is a round where they came in without a lot to play with. It was a scrappy fight, one with opportunities, but the utility ultimately just chopped them up a little bit too much. This is where they have a real fight, though, where they'll be able to get themselves back into it. Some ultis online, rifles in hand, and an early attempt to get aggressive. Xiao under a lot of threat. Miniboo took that one quick as can be. Blink and you miss it. But there's still 2 players from Navi here, ready to defend.
This is the value. You can already see Xiao. He never expected anybody to be there that fast. Nightfall thrown in, but it's going to miss at least a couple of the players.
A marked 4, she said.
Yeah, I think it must have clipped one of the players that got around the corner. Even still, the ult will slow them down. It has given Na'Vi an opportunity to rotate in, potentially put Artis into position. He's going to be there with the operator. His position will be revealed, but peeking into it would have some pretty big risks about it. And Angel goes wide and has support.
Rolling Thunder used up as well. The retake of space. The players aren't stunned up. Benji Fishy good to take the fight with Zipan down. That ult was burned very early, very aggressively. You can see the idea, but they must have thought they were further up elbow than they actually were. The side of Heretics happy to take that kill onto a charging Zipan. And Artis, well, he has somewhere to retreat to at least, so he's going to be posted up, and of course, he hits that shot, goes out for more. This man will not be deterred. He won't be scared away. He's even heard that shrouded step, I think, by the looks of his crosshair placement. Seemed to expect another player to have crossed.
A rotation from Sugetsu a little bit further away. Just looking to try and wrap back around, try and find some space. Benji in a position to fight him, but this 1v1 could be everything. Well, Artis is not going to miss another shot. 3 kills for him, off to a flyer of a start. And Na'Vi, well, they're going to double up on their lead.
4-2. Yeah, that's a strong scoreline on the other side, and I think this is where Heretics might start to get a little bit worried. We haven't seen it yet, but we could see a pause from this squad after such a great opening duel. And I think it's fair to say some advantages thrown away. Artis manages to cleave back that second kill to at least trade out Angel, but it's the fact that you see some of these players being caught out, like Zipan, Rolling Thunder used, goes pushing, gets dropped. Add to that the opening duel they had, I think they're going to be pretty upset to have let that one slip. And yeah, as predicted, they go for a pause. Just likes taking people down, ruining their days.
You know, he was on that roster for a bit. Heretics.
How far back you want to go in history? You think he holds a grudge?
We are going back. He didn't do well on that team, so maybe he does.
I'll show you. Well, right now, Navi have been denied their early aggression. The pick hasn't come through as it has in the past. Something to work with for the side of Heretics, still having that extra man, and the ulti pop. Hunter's Fury caught one burst, and even hit Zipan as well, but no kills to come off the back. Good trade to start it out. Zipan's got one. He's out for free. He's swinging through with his teammates, and they're taking every fight they can. Navi going for a scrappy round, and one that's led them ahead. Only one player still standing. Patatek needs a revive, and Xiao and Angel will not let that happen. Rian's down to 7 HP. And there's nowhere to go. A minute on the clock, but 2 players right around that corner. He did well to at least isolate a 1v1 duel, but he didn't win it. And with 7 HP, I can't say I'm surprised. Out of the pause, no success is found.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, Heretics had a really cool idea. So one of the things they do is basically just TP into a spot that they're already in, and you can already see the sheer doubt. Like, I'm pretty sure every single member of Na'Vi, as they were running past spawn, checked if he was there. Yeah. Like, is he in spawn? Is he in spawn? Put a little bit of doubt in their mind, but it didn't seem to matter. Full rotation, gambled the majority of their players over onto this site, and the fast-paced push just didn't work out. And what I want to give credit to Na'Vi for, which is no surprise, like, this is a team that's been around with a bit of a break for a very long time. The interplay from them so far has been perfect. Like, each time it's been tradable fights, especially when they've got into 2v1s or even 2v2s. They've been winning every single one of those battles.
One of the benefits of having your team together for so long is that you can start to focus on those things because you've already built everything else. You built your strategies, your comms. and how you like to play the map, who fills what roles.
Their comps, I think that changes every day.
Yeah, to be fair. Speaking about most teams, that's true. With NAVI,
I think it's the other way around. They have such good synergy that then they can do whatever they want with the comps.
Whatever the hell we want to do. Yeah, but the protocols are one of the key things, like the identity of your team, and they've got that well and truly figured out at this stage. At least Angel does. I'm not sure anyone else gets to say. That's one hell of a peek from Angel, and it's all part of the plan, you know?
Yeah.
Peek in with utility, they'll panic, they'll peek you, and then Shao will spray through the smoke. You know, if you didn't see this one coming from the very start of the round, then you just don't know Valorant. I'm sorry, but this is textbook play. Flawless. Andalusia flawless, to be precise.
Yeah, that was basically 0 damage done. And that's the other thing for Heretics thus far throughout this tournament. We are looking at a team that has been able to basically just go through without actually having any real problems. Like they 2-0'd KC, they 2-0'd Foot. That's the spot that they found themselves in to get through to this stage. So we don't know what will happen if they lose a map. And I know it sounds ridiculous because they've made it to top 4, but that's how the format has worked for them. So realistically, we're now looking to see, okay, can this team respond? Can they do it? Because they haven't really had to. And NAVI, well, we know they can. They've had too many times. They lost the first map of the tournament to BBL.
Yeah. I mean, it can be tough for this squad facing new challenges this late in the tournament with such high stakes. But that's what it's all about. Got to see those adaptations, and so far, Heretics have done well. In this round, already picking off Shao. A big smoker removed, and with that controller out of play, it's Sagetsu that has a lot of, well, control on the map. He's gone for a Viper's Pit in B main, has a wall going across middle as well. This can block a lot of vision for Team Heretics if they weren't already past it. The idea being the other place it will send them is towards this angle, straight into Artis, who's just locking down A all by himself.
Yeah, that's the benefit of him being able to TP away. Still, decent trade. Miniboo again. Being able to keep things in their favor for now. Time starting to tick down, and, well, basically A main and B main are completely locked off without their knowledge. Now, the push through from Benji could reveal quite a bit, but instead they are going to end up pushing into this man, and he has been an utter menace thus far. Finally, Artis will be revealed. That will mean he has to fall back, and they're going to try and put the pressure on.
He's faking the full fallback, though. Look, he immediately goes forward. They were wise to it. Paranoia used. No free kill for Artis this time. Instead, the punish as he attempts to re-enter the angle. Miniboo was waiting. Zipban's walked in and done so much damage. He was close to taking Boo as well. The bullet just below the head, but he'll survive.
10 seconds.
Heretics with 2 players alive in a 2 versus 1. Sagetsu already used his Viper's Pit right off rip at the start of the round, so that's no longer in play. The wall already put down as well, and it's not really doing much for him. Blocking off one angle that he doesn't really need to be worried about, and coming through this smoke, that should be the end of it. Right into Boo. Team Heretics with another round found. They're closing the gap, but they've still only got half of what NAVI are putting on the board. With 3 left to fight for in the half, it's anyone's game, but NAVI certainly looking favored.
Yeah, I think this was definitely a showcase of how good Miniboo has been in this tournament. Like, the fact is, we've spoken about how good Artis is, but he just peeked into the angle and took him down. Like, that is how fast this guy is. And we saw him in the... I feel like he, like, doubles up, because he was in the Spanish League last year. He now joins this team as well. I feel like he's got to be a favorite for the fans.
He's done his time.
Yeah.
So to speak.
I can tell you someone who's not going to be a favorite for the fans. Got any more signs today?
I've got a few, and a few to recycle as well. Well, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Maybe they need some tweaks to them, some Photoshop. NAVI already picking up the opening on a Miniboo, but the trade is instantaneous.
Same angle again.
They've got the control, they've got the space to work with. Door going to be closed, but it's to no effect. Team Heretics are all in. They've played for B main, and now they'll play back into it with 3 players going back, 1 staying close, and using the Shrouded Step to get out of there, avoiding the Nightfall that was on its way, the nightmare that could have taken them, consumed them. As Boo will look to cause some nightmares of his own. A smoke close, allowing the spam. The Rolling Thunder hard to connect on it, having to run through that smoke. Potential players unstunned, ready to fight. Benji Fishy was one. Spray is good. It's massive from Boo. Through his own smoke, he stopped the defuse and stopped NAVI in their tracks. 4 rounds for Team Heretics. It ain't over yet.
Yeah, it genuinely seems like the B main after plant from them is just perfect. Like, they've got so much utility to just place onto the spike, and then just from that position, a firing squad. The only real blip was Xiao over the top, but everything else, even with the ultimates, again, that's another round where we've seen Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder thrown in, and not really having the effect that Na'Vi have wanted, which in those sort of retake scenarios should be better effective. Now again, financially, no real problems for Na'Vi yet. You win 6 rounds in a row and relatively clean. You're going to have those finances available to you. But even still, as
2 rounds left to play for, and it could still be tied up at the half for Team Heretics. And we haven't seen these teams play this. We don't know how it's going to fare when we swap sides. But I think it's fair to say, with Heretics having picked this, it's a good chance Navi have put some stock in their defense.
Yeah. But to be honest, I think... I was going to say, realistically, this should be both teams' better side, but we'll have to wait and see. Not a great start. Again, it's just this aggression coming out from the defensive side, and well, with a little bit of help from a stun, that kill's almost too easy for Xiao. After a pause, I don't know if these were mass changes that were made by the side of Na'Vi. I guess they just wanted to deny them B main control, and Artis did that. And then Xiao just killed them the second they went mid.
Yeah, I don't know if the full intention is to bait them into the mid play, but Artis, yeah, okay, for the barrel length, he swaps. And while the rate of fire didn't help him out all too much there, Boo dropping Artis right off rip. 4 versus 2. Team Heretics blinded up. Great shot from Xiao. He's 5 HP. Repositioning too. He just needs to hold the control. He said his HP isn't ideal to take a duel, but he's got teammates coming in. They've got all the health in the world. There they are. Zipban swinging with Angel to close that round out. 7-4. 1 more round and a half.
Yeah, I actually, like, Boo nearly gets that kill while completely blind. Like, it's so ridiculously close, but this is, again, just the value coming out of Artis. Just taking half the map completely away from them, and you see the reaction from the side of Heretics is to try and put pressure in onto mid, some decent supportive utility, but more importantly, just the Xiao Show returns. Able to move himself up the board, and for Na'Vi, as said, 7 rounds, already looking like a solid defensive side. I think the majority of teams have definitely had their favor on the attack, or I think the only exception, at least from EMEA, is Carmichael.
They had their rougher share of things.
No, well, their defense was just insane. That's what it was. I think it was 8+ rounds every defense Carmine Corp have had on this.
Oh, I didn't even track that, yeah. Okay. We'll be seeing them later up against Fnatic. That's that was a...
See if they can keep it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if Fnatic
that's going to be the real test.
Do Fnatic continue to just ban the new map?
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, up against KC, they've been a squad that upsets everybody, but... well, I was surprised to see that the predictions are quite so off-kilter, shall we say. KC fans know how to make their way to the Twitter polls. Let's say that the EMEA channel is flooded with them. I think it's like 70+% in favor of KC closing it out.
I respect it.
I don't know if our analyst desk will give them the same odds, but, well, we'd all love to see them go all the way to Madrid.
35 seconds, though. This has been a much slower round. Timing.
So nasty.
Oh, no, Artis again. Always catching them off guard. They're going to use the space taken to try and get into the side, but Xiao for a 2nd round in a row is just going to mow them down. And what can Rians do from this position? 20 seconds left, spike on the site, 5 players to find. I wish you the best of luck, but I don't think anything's going to be coming from this one. Xiao even making his move in towards the spawn. He wants another frag, and, well, the fact is, this round is already done. It's just about padding those stats.
And he's done exactly that, a 4th kill for Xiao. NAVI closing this one out with a pretty strong statement. They've given 2 rounds, kicking it off. The pistol loss and the follow-up, and that was half of what Heretics found. Artis is a menace. So his lurks have been so annoying to deal with. This guy is going to be playing slow pushes into your spawn, running it down on A, grabbing the op angle, and just holding that control. Control that should be utility and possibly 2 players holding it. Instead, it's 1 guy with a sniper who has an instant retreat after he takes a shot. And he has an insane hit rate on those shots as well, closing the half 13-7. Xiao did exactly the same. This is tough. When NAVI come out firing on all cylinders like this, there's almost no way to put them back, to quiet them down. Team Heretics now on their defense will have to slow this push from NAVI. And look, on the attack side, I think at least Artist will be a little bit less irritating. He won't be locking down the angles in quite the same way. He might find a new way to cause the hair loss.
It genuinely does, at least initially, look like it's going to be Angel leading the charge. And some of these fights, Xiao just goes running into the cage. Just sheer disrespect to what's on the defensive side. And in the meantime, Artist has just gone walking through. Now, I feel like this should be known, especially once the second player goes, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll know that somebody could be as far forward as Artist is.
Spike planted.
It's a later rotation with Boo, everybody splitting up into their own angles. Mini Boo, though. He's crept by a PC utility. That spot was being watched by Angel incrementally. It's going to be a matter of timing as to whether he wins it out or not. And indeed, Mini Boo falls. So too does Rian. So Boo is alone. And having picked up Artist, they know where he is. Again, we'll see the same thing that plagued NAVI on their defensive side. It's this tight plant, a very narrow angle that you can defuse on. And they've got utility to reveal you, to spam you down. They know at this point he's probably not defusing. Now he's tapped it again. Stun comes through. Good luck to you. 49 HP already. And then Zipan steps in to close it out. There was almost no way, short of him running in and hitting the 2 quickest headshots you've ever seen. That's 9 rounds for NAVI, edging closer to the close of this map. And Tom, again, you know, I feel like this has happened in most of our series. This is the map pick of Heretics, and it's gotten off to a terrible start.
Yeah, I think just how good we saw NAVI on the defense. Artist catching them every time they would go for some of these pacier hits and just shutting down so much map control, and now losing the second pistol. Gives them 1 apiece, but they now need to try and find a response. They've gone for a few sheriffs, a little bit extra to try and play with for this round, but ultimately not a whole lot in comparison to the 3 rifles that are on the other side.
But we saw what damage can be done with these kind of weapons. In fact, NAVI had less to work with in terms of pistols bought. In terms of bullets bought, Artist did invest a little bit more, obviously, having his headhunter to work with.
He had a Guardian, basically.
Yeah, essentially. And he did some serious damage with it. Benji Fishy, though, he'll do it with a classic. That's his full kill on Angel. And he's back over now, picking up a Sheriff for the upgrade. Keeping the numbers even in a round like this is already impressive. It's forcing NAVI to group up and play this one together. It's already cost them a rifle with a clean kill from Mini Boo, and they know Benji is still around here. The only unknown quantity is Boo. But with Artist down, there's no trap to cover their back. Boo can creep his way on through. The only question is if NAVI are going to leave this open, if they're going to be checking it. Oh, I like it. I love it. The smoke. This is a clear sell from Heretics. They're telling NAVI, we're both in spawn. We're both in market. Just, we're not in main. Why would we smoke it off? I'm trying to block an angle for you. And that might just open the door for Boo. He's creeping his way through. It's being watched by Angel. It's a matter of timing. And it looks like he swung at just the wrong moment. Those players not quite in his vision, and when they are, Xiao is trained in on him. Unlucky. Really nice try, though.
Yeah, leaves it on to Benji. Sheriff in hand, but still so much to try and do, to try and turn back into their favor. And they're doubled up. He'd need to hit some crazy shots to get that one out of there. And it's going to be another triple kill for Xiao. He is coming to today, padding those stats. As they now hit double digits, this is looking bleak for the side of Heretics, and NAVI, they might just be speed running their way to Madrid.
Yeah, with their map pick up next, and it's not. I don't have a lot of faith in Breeze for Heretics, just because of how NAVI are already lights out on this and how they've played so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Breeze, it's been a pretty strong map for this squad.
Yeah, no, NAVI, they're 2-0, 13-7, 13-6, Liquid and BBL. And their defensive sides have been 7-1 and 9-3 with a Yoru comp.
Yeah, it's really tough to play against them. I know, and you never know coming into this game. They might even have other ideas up their sleeve. This is the game where you'd pull them out. But with 10-4 in the lead, it doesn't look like there's much flair needed to the NAVI side. Right now, they are just winning this game outright. Every single avenue they approach, victory is at the other end. See if Heretics can put up that roadblock already, being forced out of position. NAVI are not being caught off guard, and they have the utility to constantly clear these angles and push Heretics onto the back foot. All the while, by the way, just hoping that maybe they get aggressive on A, and someone like Sagetsu can grab that lurk kill that you know he's capable of. Now as they shift direction, it's going to be Artist that's trying to pick him off.
Paratech knifed just a second ago and it didn't reveal anything, and now that's actually where NAVI have just slowly maneuvered their way towards it. Means that he's basically alone. He has some support from the utility of his teammate. There is a cam available for Benji to potentially spot, but I don't know if he's going to be there to help soon enough to really do too much. And in the meantime, Ardis has been selling this ruse. Now Paratech has to go big on the site.
Benji's close, but what can he do with that util? Like you said, it's all on to Paratech to at least put up a good hold, buy them some time, get some kills. Benji spamming through, has picked up Xiao, and now the flash is going to go in. Here comes the peek on the back of it. Great play from Heretics. A crunch that's crushed Navi's momentum and left Ardis in a 1v5 that he has no business winning. Barely any seconds left on the clock and the time. What was that shot? That was precise, and it was quick. But it's not clean enough. He'd need 4 more of those in a second or so. 10-5 we go. Half of the rounds for Heretics again.
That's a man that's doing his aim training. That was so quick to just hit that final headshot. I love the setup though. The setup here is really cool because it basically involves Benji using his utility from outside of the site so that, like, if a stray bullet hits him, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, if he was on the site and it hits him, all of his util goes down. Instead, he's outside. Paratech's fighting with flashes, and he's putting up utility around him to keep him safe. Just a nice little idea. Also means he couldn't be hit by anything that could potentially deny that utility in general. Nice round from Heretics, but as you said, they need a lot more of those if they're going to be winning this map.
Cover going out.
Bring them down.
Well, Trap already dealt with some util to slow reveal as well. Benji wasn't spotted initially, and they can't deal with him. One by one, they fall on the side of Navi. And with market truly locked down, there's nowhere else to look. Benji's even trained in to find Ardis. Zipan alone. The same spot Ardis was in the last game. Last round, rather. 1 versus 5. A rifle in his hands. An entire platoon of enemies to take down. They're posted up, ready to go.
Wonder where he is.
They're just going to wait for him to step out of main or step back into the waiting arms of Boo.
I like that. Boo's trying to get himself the kill. He's put the smoke down. He's like, yes, come back. In the other direction. 40 seconds. He can just wait it out. The fact is, for Zipan, saving the gun wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Financially, his team aren't exactly in the greatest of spots going into the next round. Although,
30 seconds
I don't know if Ardis will have Tour de Force available. It might give them something to play with. And he knows at this stage that if there's that many players and they're putting a smoke, there has to be someone behind him. Not going to be able to retreat onto the A site, but it is all about just holding onto that gun, having something remaining for the next round, and he wins the duel. Boo was literally waiting there for about a minute, but it doesn't matter. It looks like Zipan's going to be able to hold onto the gun.
Yes, patience didn't pay off there, I suppose. It's Zipan taking the knife out, that little bit of extra movement speed. It makes all the difference, I suppose. 10-6, 4 rounds between them. It doesn't seem like a lot, but Navi are so close to pushing this over the line. It has to be a near flawless set of rounds from Team Heretics to fight their way back through. And Navi, well, they'll at least experience some difficulties here, some weaknesses. Good to see Benji activated in a round like that as well. Hasn't had a bad game. We talk a lot about Mini Boo in this map. Benji's been matching his performance, and I think that's certainly something to write home about, that Sentinel being able to lock down control. The challenge will not be towards Benji this time. Instead, it's Mini Boo, and he's not losing this challenge! What? The damage is massive. Only 3 of those kills are for him, but that's 3 more than I'd give him credit for, swinging into the full force of Navi. They even suspect where Ardis is, smelling the blood in the water.
Mini Boo tried to spam the box to get the 4th kill. I love that. Paratech's like, I'll set up the flash, I'll peek, my kill. Mini Boo's like, if I hit the last bullet, maybe I'll just steal this one. But it is great round from there. I like the trap setups that they're having. Andaluthi are flawless as well. It's just cool ideas. Like, you can see that Navi on the other side didn't have a mass amount of weaponry to play with. I think it was just a hero rifle coming in for Ardis, but they had a little trap set up ready to shut them down. And that's the thing. When Heretics have got moving, when that momentum has been in their favor, this is where this team has truly obliterated a lot of their opponents. That's not the best start, though. Same thing attempted again. Mini Boo looking to try and take over the game, and Ardis silences him within seconds.
Well, this is it. When you've got a player that's winning rounds off the back of getting aggressive, you're likely to get aggressive with him. So
Yeah.
NAVI make the play to just pump the
Especially
brakes.
if they're on Neon.
Yes, yes. You know, you're not going to find the value by holding an angle till they peek you. So this is somewhere that NAVI make the right read. This guy's going to get aggro, stack up A. He might do it there again, leave Artist to lurk on mid. And if he pushes B main, we'll just play it for the information. It is what it is. They've certainly cast out their net and caught a fair amount of fish. A good haul for the side of NAVI with a 5 versus 4. And Team Heretics not having a ton of ultimates to fall back on. At least a null command for Patatek, but as we can see, he's on the wrong side of the map. Some aggression taking place up towards A main, and even a third player on that side from Heretics. Meanwhile, the man that we've praised just a little bit earlier on, Benji Fishy, is having some trouble. You can see he's fallen back towards the spawn to try and cover that back angle, leaving his traps to play the site. The camera has been destroyed, and that's drawing some rotations. But Sugetsu's got himself into a perfect position for this. Both players with their backs turned, and Artist might be a little peeved to die like that, but his teammate got the trade nice and clean. And with that, there seems to be no way this falls awry. They haven't cleared Benji. They haven't even seen him, but they're watching for him. And they have found the kill just in time.
It's crispy aim all the way through, and while after what was a really clean round in the last for Heretics, just moments later, NAVI bounced back with 4 players surviving. Again, I think it was just expecting a lot of what they were going to do, and then just a sneaky little play coming through the back for Sugetsu. Heretics going to take themselves a pause, a chance for the Brits to have a little bit of chat with the guys.
Well, you know, it's an old strategy to make that much.
There always seems to be somewhere with a gap.
You want to play? Let's play.
Well, you're not going to be canceling out the fun times happening on the other side of the map. Team Heretics seeing nothing on A. There is one player sitting outside of it, as per usual. Sugetsu left on the lurk, but the real danger in this round is the man with the big golden gun in hand. It's Artist, having popped his ult, and he'll be left to cause havoc. Now, we've seen this a number of rounds from Artist. Sitting around this position, he'll grab a pistol or something to shoot up towards where the camera usually is in the window, make some noise, and hope that somebody goes swinging into him. If they don't, well, the slow contact towards A usually works late in the round. I like how NAVI have been playing this, because so far, it's not like Heretics have had an answer outside of their trap plays, their quick responses to map control being seized. Doesn't look like they've got one set up necessarily either. This is somewhere that Heretics are going to have to take individual duels, and I think the first might be Rien's. He's already walking down towards mid, and it looks like Heretics have the idea to crunch 2 players in market, 2 to top mid, postured on the angles, ready for a fight. Stun was good. Ult is popped. Mini boost good for more, and he's out. He's bought himself some time.
Yeah, and that's decent as well. That gets rid of Angel. That's a lot of your information setups. Now, they do have a Rolling Thunder. I assume if you were ever going to use it, this would be it. Minibu able to quickly get into position. And now, well, with the null command, it's actually not going to be that ultimate available. That's going to be a big problem for NAVI. 15 seconds coming up on the clock for them to try and make their move, a fragment to delay them, a smoke in the way. If they are going to go for this, it has to be now, but they get the entry onto Minibu. Panatek holding strong, though, and that might just be enough. The spam has dropped that spike, leaving just 2 players remaining, and they can just hide out for the remainder of the round. Artist will take one with him. But the fact is, Heretics have managed to bounce back, and a lot of it is off the back of Patatek.
Well, 2 kills before the timer went out, and he cleaned house afterwards. 8-11. You know, when we were looking at a much wider gap between these teams, even just at 10-6, it felt like NAVI might gain control of this and turn it into their favor. Now, though, we're seeing these responses from the side of Heretics. The mid-control idea was nice. 4 players looking to crunch. NAVI threw a lot of utility back at them. They were throwing their smokes, using their stuns, and forcing them off angles, particularly in market. I don't think that went the way Heretics wanted off rip. Good stun, though. Oh, this is fantastic. Early aggression could get a lot of space for the side of NAVI, but they've just forced them back instead. And I think what they're missing is Minibu, someone on a Neon to quickly seize that space after the stun and punish the kills. They don't have that, so not able to quite force those mistakes the same, and then they go walking into these angles. Minibu just doesn't miss.
Yeah, this is basically what I was saying in the first half. Is like, is it just going to be Angel basically just taking firefights? And it's like, I don't know, especially versus Minibu, you ain't going to be winning it. Now they rely on Artist doing the same thing, just walking up mid. It's where the holes really sort of lie within this attack side, is they just don't have a space taker, and one by one, it's individual fights. And Heretics have won all of them.
And it was what you said starting it out, right? Because you're saying about the Space Taker, and the first point you made when we saw these compositions come through is the fact that Raze has been so popular, and you don't have that on either team. Now, we can understand why Heretics on the attack side are replacing Raze, how they're doing it, because Miniboo is the Space Taker. He's the guy round the corner, quick as can be. We saw it especially towards elbow, like Shao getting caught off in some of the rounds. And I want to believe, I really do. There's so many players, so little time. Spike down, but he's already picked up 2. Got a Rolling Thunder to work with as well. 2 flashes, but 20 seconds on the clock. He's got to run, and he's got to do it now. There's players watching the cross, and simply no way. I would call it here. 10 seconds on the clock. They will just run the clock down till he goes for the plant, take the swing together, or on their own, and finish it out. Nicely done. But yeah, back to that point, it's Navi. They don't have that solution. And I think in these rounds, in the last couple in particular, we're seeing how they struggle to not take the map control, but to actually take a kill, to punish any map control that was taken by Heretics.
I think also we've seen the last couple of rounds at least that Miniboo has gone for positions where he can take a fight, but he can get out of there. And I think that's the main thing that I want to be focusing on is the round where he ran down mid, that for me is too much. Because that's in a position where there's no escape.
Because the signs have been there.
Me 2 weeks ago.
100%. You even tell me Heretics are in this position 2 weeks ago? I'm sending you to get a lobotomy. But this is where we are. This is reality. And I think Heretics have earned it every step of the way. That's the key thing. They have taken everybody's perceptions and changed it. Benji, move. Okay, all good, all good.
Oh, okay. This is a much faster pace looking.
Angel's out.
Angel is out with the spike on his own, but nobody has managed to stop him. Artist has been caught. Trade back for Benji. He just goes swinging. Keeps things even for now, and they may not even know that Panitek is still in this corner. They have absolutely no idea. Just the snake in the grass hiding, and they're doubling up to try and put the pressure on Sugetsu, looking to try and trade things back. Rians will do just that, and now Artist!
And there's the close-up for the dub. Rians with a big play. 2 kills, closing out that round. Shutting down Artist, embarrassing Artist on the wide swing, I'd say.
I don't know. I think Artist may have embarrassed himself.
Yeah, that's true. It was a little bit whiffy, but
I don't think that was intentional by his opponent.
Oh yeah. Let's slow that one down. Let's get that one in the replay. 11-10, and we saw the Heretics fans on their feet in the cinema back home. Now, it's got to be getting loud in that cinema. I'll be surprised if you can hear gunshots go off when Heretics are taking fights, because they are looking so good. Picked it back to a 1-round gap, and the momentum is in their favor. Xiao's dead. Oh, okay. Hello?
Somehow he's still alive. The thing is, the rest of the team are not even remotely close. Like, they are just making their way through elbow. Sugetsu has managed to find one, though, onto Miniboo.
For a smoke. Just blind fire.
Okay, Angel's got another one. This is starting to get interesting. They've had to use the Hunter's Fury. There's chance for real damage here. A second player, low, almost connects onto Zipan. Spike in the way. But it is going to be the plant. Somehow this looks doable. Unlikely, but doable.
Well, we had 2 spams through the smoke, essentially the yin and yang trading each other out. But then the Hunter's Fury, it's pulled it back in favor. Zipan's so low, damage is done. Information is there to play with as well. Benji's just locked them in, put him in a box, and it's only Zipan left. 45 HP, 25 HP, and a Sheriff. A dream. No, down, and he's got 2! The collat! Benji's on it, right under his nose! Zipan has no idea! He's made the play of his life, but Benji shut him down anyways. 11-11, not even breaking a smirk as they equalize. Heretics are locked in to close out map 1.
Oh my god. Can we get, I think, about 5,000 new pairs of trousers to the Heretics watch party? Because everybody must have just clenched at the same time. Like, that is absurd. He's just managed to collat headshot while on 25. Just utter filth. And well, yeah, Benji, balls of steel, just to stick that all the way. Like, I think everybody was terrified.
Can you imagine if he sticks that, gets swung, dies, it's all over Twitter, Reddit, he's gone. He's out of the scene. There's no coming back.
It would be probably the second most embarrassing thing after what he said about that Koi game.
Yeah, last year press conference, he still hasn't lived that down, but you know what? It might be egg on our face. We can't make fun of him anymore if he makes it all the way to Madrid.
Fair play.
I think already he's earned that respect back, but Wow, 11 to 11. I didn't think we were getting here. NAVI looked like they were running away with things, but impressive defensive side from Heretics so far.
7 of the last 8 rounds, I think.
Yes, yes.
We are seeing the holes in that NAVI comp. Looking to try and build up in towards this B site once again. And look at the rotation already. You can see once the information is not had on the other side, once the aggressive pushes come through from Boo, they're already going to catch the Artist is here. Although that kind of sells a little bit of a ruse because he normally lurks. He's normally playing mid. He's normally hiding behind. Again, Nightfall going to be going through. Might have caught Benji, and it's not going to catch Padatek. So yeah, no, they got absolutely no. They just got Benji. That doesn't help them much at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I like the idea to at least wait it out. But for Heretics now, they've even popped in the null command, slowed down this push from NAVI. No utility, like you said, Tom. No Viper's Pit to save the day. NAVI need to do it with rifles, and they found Padatek. With a double man blitz coming in from Market any second now as the smoke fades. Benji on the first. He's been so good in these fights, and he needs to be better because Rienz is falling. Out goes the paranoia. They tried to deny the defuse. The time is low, but it's done. It's being planted. It's being found. Zipan still putting up a fight. And with Benji down, the numbers are even, but Mini Boo so desperately low. Boo needs to make a big play. The brothers trying to clutch it out, but only one stands. Full HP on Boo, but he doesn't know there's a player right up beside him. Zipan shutting down the hopes of Team Heretics in regulation. Overtime. Now the last lifeline for the Spanish fans on map number 1.
It's just, but they haven't managed to streak rounds together other than the pistol in second. So although the pressure now sits with Heretics, the fact is they've been good for it so far in the defensive side. I think the main thing that's going to come down is whether or not NAVI have an idea and whether or not they may have a blunder. I think that's the only thing that can really stop them at this stage. 12 to 11. No problems in terms of having their utility available. The credits very much in their hands. Mini Boo again is going to go for this aggressive play. But just look at the positions currently being held by NAVI. They are sat back waiting for the first sort of 10, 15 seconds of the round because they know that this guy is coming to get him.
It's been so impressive, this defensive side. I think a big factor of it has been Benji Fishy for me. He's a player that a lot of people
Paddy's
talk
been
about.
Insane as well.
Paddy's been nuts, but I think Paddy played at top level before. Benji, I'd heard and I'd read these rumors. Oh, he's not ready for the top level yet. He's not there yet. Well, it certainly looks like it here, and no better team than NAVI. As I said, 5 times in a row, this squad has been at international events. When they had Artists, they were winning them, and now they're back with him. Team Heretics, a huge line in the sand, already drawn a great start. A tough start to the series, actually, and then they bounce back into it. 1 away with 45 seconds on the clock. This defense is going to be tested one more time, and it looks like NAVI have their eyes set on B.
Yeah, they spotted Angel a while ago. 35 seconds on the clock as they do now look to make their move. Mini Boo has rotated into position in order to try and support. Aftershock actually sent through just to destroy the trip, but Mini Boo there, as said, they didn't have that expectation of him to just swing that. Now the cage is up, the smoke is up. NAVI are going to have to go running straight through. This paranoia does help them a little bit, but it is a slaughter on the site, leaving just Sugetsu standing. 10 seconds left. Well, he'll take one for his troubles, but planting this should be impossible as he is lasered down through the pit, and Heretics have brought it to overtime.
Well, I'll give it to them. One of the questions we had about this Heretics roster coming into today, how do they handle it when times get tough? When they lose a map? Well, I'll tell you what, going to an overtime, it's almost as bad as losing the map. Stress here going to be higher than ever. One mistake, and this series you've just fought the last hour to win. The map, at least, it slips out of your hand.
That's the thing. I think there's pressure when losing a map, but there's also pressure being 10-4 down. That's the scenario they found themselves in literally 15 minutes ago. They have risen to the occasion. They have shown they could go toe-to-toe with a great within EMEA. Left to go to other regions.
We got the upgrades.
To be fair, one of them is, NAVI, the big boys.
What are you trying to say about Heretics?
They were there before. Like they're not new. They were already here.
Nice flash, right off rip. I would expect Artists to be going back, and well, they threw a few more pieces of utility in just to make sure they know how unhinged this guy can be. Playing against it never easy. Remember, going back to that defensive side for NAVI, it was opening pick after opening pick for Artists on this rifle. It's why you see so much committed from Heretics to push him out of those easy angles.
Heretics themselves have pumped the brakes, but there are 4 players now ready and waiting for NAVI. They have left Sugetsu on the other side of the map. The thing is, though, Heretics at this stage look committed. They look like they're set on going in this direction. Maybe the expectation is that someone's going to come a looking flash across. It's a bait to give Miniboo the space. But the fact is, Benji's gone down elsewhere. The advantage sitting with NAVI.
Oh, wow. Chow's just peeked in. He saw them all, but the paranoia didn't catch Patatek. Able to respond quickly. Heretics still in with a chance until another kill is found by Angel, this time through the smoke. 3 versus 2. Another falling, though. That's Angel overcommitting. He was in no man's land taking a fight. They know where Zipan is. They've got him boxed in. Trails leading to him, but Patatek falls anyways as NAVI come back from what looked like a little bit of a shaky situation in the end. 13-12. One more needed to put this to a close and move on to their own map pick.
I swear to God, every time they use either Rolling Thunder or Nightfall, somehow they almost lose the round. It's like, we're in a perfect position. I'll use my ultimate. Somehow that made things worse. But I guess it might just be them trying to make plays on the top of it. As you said, though, getting NAVI to overtime, it might be considered an achievement, but for Heretics, they don't want to be left in the footnotes of history. They need to turn this one around. And while the success they had was mostly on this defense, the fact is, though, the initial aggression didn't spot anything. They are now looking to put that pressure in. Boo has been forced to fall back, but he is still around this angle. Paranoia in hand. Is he about to set up Miniboo to go for a swing? It looks like it, and he's found the kill as well.
Oh, it would have been massive, but for that trade back out. Xiao maintains control and NAVI maintained course. Looking for the A side. Plenty of players rotated in on the side of Heretics. This defensive side doesn't want to stand still and let NAVI make the next move, though. They're getting aggressive, pushing into the angles and punishing every peek. NAVI tried desperately to save Sugetsu from Miniboo's grasp. Oh, wow. They didn't think there were 2 more guns standing ready to take that fight. Only Angel left. 1v3 in this angle, 1v4 in the round, and, oh, 0 health remaining. That's a pretty clean conclusion. 13-13. Another overtime awaits us.
Again, just impressed with the synergy that has somehow been built within this Heretics roster, even in a shaky climate. The support they had, the flashes, the stuns they used alongside it.
Miniboo, you shagger.
Pardon me, sir? Pardon me? I don't understand if they were calling narrate that, but a bit more shaggy, I suppose.
Wow, that's definitely my favorite Coach Mike so far.
Oh, that's going on the soundboard. Miniboo already off to a poor start. Didn't take the advice to heart. He's out of the round, and we've got a 4 versus 5 for NAVI. 13-13. Defense has been good. Opening picks by Artis have been nasty, but they're going to avoid him for now, taking things elsewhere. But without that star entry, without that space taker, they're going to struggle to get into a site.
Say that. The drone will give things away. I swear Sugetsu will immediately switch his gaze towards that B site, put a snake bite down, smoke on it as well. It looks like they're just going to disrespect it. Maybe a hard read coming through. They've obviously got to destroy the trap that was set up by Artis, but it is just going to have to be a full retake. We already mentioned the post, but the fact that Xiao has already managed to find one, the close angle, he's actually seen him, it doesn't matter. Benji wins the fight anyway. They should have the information either way.
Advantage sits with NAVI, stays there. Main is there, sight seems to be to Rian's. Oh, he's hit the shot! Reset after the flash, but it's Angel to close the round. I was believing in that clutch. What a reset from him. But 14 will be ultimately in the hands of NAVI. One more to push this across the line. And the worst thing is, you know, we talked about a team like Heretics. How will they manage a defeat? If they lose after such an extended map, those are the ones that sit with you, that sting the most.
Oh, this is where NAVI are going to take themselves a pause.
Go up for what could be one last time.
There. Bring them down.
again, just this information setup. Miniboo not shying away from the fight. Is he really going to keep going? You have to feel like he's just going to sit back. He has support from Big Bro to try and deny anything more. One way is going to go up again. Be a little while before they have another smoke available to them. And actually, Navi are going to try and play off the back of this. Stun is good. It's left onto Miniboo, and it's just going to be the trades. Both teams coming out even. A little bit of extra damage done onto Angel. And Patatek instead has to fall back, leaving what it will be is just Benji over on the other side of the map. And it seems like that may have been the plan all along for Navi.
Definitely in one sense, I think the idea is for Artis to try to find that space and take the pick, right? Like, somebody's got to be peeking eventually, but Benji is steadfast. He is held. The camera just looking towards main, or market, pardon me, while B main is covered off by these traps. He doesn't need a peek. He sits in the corner and waits, but once he's spotted, that's where trouble comes in. We're going to see Angel move through and probably destroy this camera. That's when the utility comes through from the rest of Navi. Calm down. Where does he go? Benji now knows there's enemies everywhere. Good first to start onto Artis. Reposition around onto the site. And Angel's even left the market angle, grouping up with his teammate. It's Zipan himself. 45 on Angel. It should be an easy fight. And with the headshot to Zipan, this round may just be tied up in a neat little bow. No need to peek for Benji. 12 seconds left. No plant for Angel just yet. Good shot to start. Plant going to be attempted. Going to be stuck all the way. Oh, but the nade stopped it. Despite one kill, he can't quite correct in time. 14 to 14, Tom. We're going again, round number 29.
I was scared for a second that that was going to be that push forward from him and just neither player would be ready for such an aggressive peak. But again, you mentioned him already. On this defensive side, Benji has been a menace that Navi have really struggled to deal with. Still trying to catch up to Miniboo. It's been a challenge throughout this match so far. Back to the attack. I feel like that is going to be the deciding factor. Who is the first to get that attack side round? Well, it's going to be that first attempt. Already stunned up, blinded, everything thrown at the side. Benji. Heretics, he's waited. Oh, he's giving it away.
Lucky that Artis gets out of there. If he sticks around for the fight, I don't know that Benji's chances are that good. But luckily, he's gone. A reset on the anchor. Time now bought for this squad of Heretics. The space retaken. They're forced back off A. It's not bad, really, to trade out the paranoia, considering Navi don't have the control. You know, if Artis was now pushed up on B main and had that position, as he did before Benji's little bit of a challenge, or if he was pushed up on A main, fair enough, you know, worthwhile trade. But now there's valuable utility missing from the side of Navi, utility that's had a lot of impact in late rounds.
Run through. I think that was an attempt to destroy the trap, but it's failed. So they'll now know that this angle is still going to be covered. And more importantly, they're walking into that operator. That has been such a devastating thing throughout the game so far, especially on defense. Good utility to force back Artis, but he's not dealt with just yet. And it's looking like the retake. Now, every single round, Chow seems to be able to find a kill above these smokes. It's something that Heretics seem aware of, as they'll now get back into their afterglow.
Viper Orb was up in market as well. Navi weren't able to keep the Viper Wall in play to block them out fully, but that's okay because they're recharging up those toxins for the retake. And Miniboo tried to get ahead of it, but Artis finally gets that opening duel late into the round. The fight hadn't come through, and so there's still lots of utility. Nade down, that's going to buy some more time. Navi want to fight forward, want to take control over main. TP through by Xiao, has not worked. And a defuse, they're attempting it right now. It's a brave attempt with a body block as well, but they have found their mark. Doubled up on it. And the lead now for Team Heretics. For the first time, a chance to close out their map pick. And Tom, they get to do it on their defense. This could be it.
Yeah, I think just being able to get into these sites, and these B-site post plants have been sublime for the side of Heretics. It's not just a young squad blitzing their opponents with aim. They have ideas, they have plans, and they definitely have fans.
In the droves. That's fantastic to see the Heretics community showing up, and well, the roster certainly living up to the hype that they themselves have created, because when people saw this team list go out, there wasn't a lot of hype drummed up. No one said, "Oh, that's it. That's it. Madrid down,
team
baby."
For the future. Team
Exactly.
For the future.
Yeah. Maybe in a couple months, maybe a year with some roster changes, add in someone else. It could be great.
And definitely not with a stand-in. No one was sat there going, yeah, you know what? Patatek's going to come back and he's going to make it to Masters. That was not something that people had on the cards. It's still not done yet, though. They are a very long road. They haven't even taken that first map, but that is the goal. It's aggressive. A push forward. A react might have just started the beginning of the end, leaving just one man standing. Artis. He's been great so far in this game, but on the attack, there is little to be desired for this side of Navi. Spike recovered. Patatek, maybe a little bit overzealous, is going to give him a root, but already hit by that second pulse, leaving him on 70 HP, nowhere to go. Drone is going to try and push it to spam, actually kinks up re-ends. But even still, I think it might be too little too late. He needs to do a whole lot, and he does manage a couple, but it's re-ends. The man sat at home looking to send Navi home as Heretics, after a huge comeback, take map 1.
Well, that was their map pick. NAVI, good stats on this map, good form coming into it, but we talked about Heretics. If they lost that last map, a 16-14, a long map, maybe it would affect them. Maybe you take the wind out of their sails. But for NAVI, they're now in that boat. I know they're capable of bouncing back, Tom, but see if they can control the wind on Breeze.
They're used to this. They always lose the first map.
Yep. Welcome to NAVI. They did it against BBL, right?
Yeah, day one BBL, they get banged out and then win the next two maps 13-6, I believe. So we'll see if that's the case. Benji leading the charge. Already looking to get that plant down. Not the agent you'd normally be going for the plants on, but I guess it's more important for them just getting the round over the line. I'm also just looking at where Miniboo is. I assume he's got some way of getting there a little bit faster, because this is ridiculous how long of a rotation he has. He's actually going to end up fighting Sugetsu in mid. This is such a weird round, and he wins the fight as well.
The gate crash was put out as you called it into question, Tom. It's being used successfully to pull him back over towards A main. And now he's going runabouts, walking his way up to middle. I mean, he's not afraid to run the clock down, that's for sure. Diffuse still not attempted as Team Heretics funnel out of the choke point, and Miniboo grabs the last kill. His flank finally coming to fruition. A good round for him. Honestly, it just looked like he was in a death match, is running around his playground.
So what I have just witnessed is a Cypher lead the charge into the site as a Yoru hard-lurked on the other side of the map.
Yep. Questions?
And by the way, when I pointed out, he had not put the TP down. He put it down as I said it, which was when they had already had the plant down for what, like 5 seconds or something?
Roughly, yeah. Questions? Problems? It worked, Tom. They won, so what can you say?
Bit weird.
It is strange, and we'll see what on Navi's attack that they have a little bit of a different idea on how to use that Yoru. Luckily, Miniboo's able to get out of there on time because he was almost severely punished.
You see the trick, but you don't quite know how it worked. Like, just about got away from that one.
Where's that Angel? That was aggression inside A main.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, that was the one sort of, like, I think they played the map really well, but that was the one criticism I had. Now, in this round, it doesn't matter so much, but Angel playing that controller super aggressively, even one round dropping the spike out onto the side. Now, bear in mind, they had basically won the map at that point, but even still.
Leave us.
Yeah, and if you recall back in the day when he was doing these things, it was always the Brimstone that he would play, and for good reason. So I think realistically, you know, on that Brimmy, we interviewed him a ton of times. He would always say, you know, you just call down the smokes, throw your stim, and now you're a duelist who has got a Molotov. It makes sense. On Omen, though, refreshing utility. We saw, just think back to the last map, those one-ways that Boo was putting out, consistently allowing them to keep control. I think that's the element you're missing. But you gain something special with Angel, which is, even if your entry is dead, your entry is alive. Good chance for Zipan, but yeah, swinging through the wall, it was being watched, unlucky. 2 versus 5, and damage, still the name of the game, but, well, they're on hard difficulty with these weapons, and with Heretics having all the control, no need to peek, ranged angles, and numbers to play with.
Player standing.
That's how it should go. Oh, they've even guessed where Shao is. Well done. Andalucia flawless in round number 2. And it's more of a golf clap round. You know, these are the ways that you should see these rounds go. You don't want to see Team Heretics losing too many players. You don't want to see sloppy plays or massive advantages cleaved out of a player hiding in a corner. This was just patience from that attacking side.
Gun here.
Well, after that flawless, it's perfect for the side of Heretics because now they get to buy back in with those rifles. So that's normally what we kind of expect to see, saving over a few weapons, but it means that this purchase is going to be a pretty hefty one. Oh, an early aggressive push, a bit of spam damage done. And Artist's already going to have to be rotating away here. Xiao is in a great position. Hasn't actually been checked, but eventually he will fall. I think maybe a little bit of a jump scare for Zagetsu. Instead, they're hightailing it back towards the B side.
Well, Angels just found that out the hard way. A quick kill onto him. The B side is lost. The TP's in for easy cross. Okay, well, it's easy cross if you just take the players down, I suppose. NAVI left in a 2 versus 4 and a chance to possibly fight their way back through. Have a chance at putting around on the board. They're not going for it, though. You know, because it was a chance. It was a risk. It was a gamble if they were to commit. Instead, it will save those weapons, both rifles, to be carried through to the next as Team Heretics don't really seem to be hunting down. Great success already on this attack side. And we mentioned, like I said, long game on the first map. You lose that out, but if you're NAVI, you look at it through the lens of this was Heretics map pick. Now we're going onto a map where we're extremely comfortable. 3-0 down, that comfort starts to be removed a little bit, but there's still plenty of time. Let's not fear-monger just yet. For the side of NAVI, we know that they can put those rounds up when the rifles come out. This is a hiccup, a bump in the road. But this road could get very bumpy very quickly if they let Heretics continue on this path. Minibu 4-0, Rien's 3-0, 2 big players from the previous map. And to be honest, I can't really point to anyone that didn't show up. I think Barbu didn't have the same sort of ACS as we've seen before. He wasn't as engaged. They won the map. I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly. Like I also feel like for an Omen sort of controller player, you can't really expect them to drop crazy kills, unless maybe you're like Vania over in Game Changers. She consistently does it, but other than that, unlikely. But a good start for Heretics. And as said, like a lot of what we've seen so far from the side of NAVI has been really impressive defensive sides of Breeze. For now, at least, that start for Heretics is a flyer. Minibu already looking to put the pressure on. Of course, the way our playoffs work, there is no lower bracket. There is no second chances for NAVI. They lose this map, they are out. Heretics head their way over to Madrid.
I love the ideas early on. We've already seen a paranoia used up by Angel in the first couple seconds of the round. And this was the pressure that Minibu put on inside of A main. They then delay, and you can see they had a recon as well as a flash set up from both Patatek with the flash and Rien's with the recon, but they decide to change direction, move towards the B site. Now this is all great, they've burnt utility. What they haven't done is seen this man sneak his way down into a frankly ridiculous position. Gate crash timer's gotta be running low, but he's made it. 1 kill and he's out of there, just like on his chamber, but a little bit more ludicrous of an angle. The spray down's good as well. Rien's is low, the flash and the TP from Minibu gets him 1. He's gonna do so much more from this corner, and surrounded, nothing will be found. NAVI with a quick response to Team Heretics. 3-1 we go.
And no surprise that, as always, it seems like Artis is at the heart of a lot of these scenarios, just being able to put up numbers where maybe he shouldn't be able to, and just the initial space taken. Similar problems to what they had versus that chamber as well, although I don't know if you could be too upset about that one. Other than that, Xiao with a couple of good trades and a little bit of an early response. Now the ults are starting to come online. Minibu is going to have that dimensional drift, a chance to really take space and look to combo a lot of what they have with it. He is using it immediately, straight in towards this site, already spotting out Angel. Trying to get the information on the rest of the players. Patatek has gone down though.
That decoy was well and truly spotted with the numbers on the attack thinning out. And the flash is already burned up for Minibu. Someone needs to be the hero this squad desperately needs. Good flash, though. Or, well, lucky flash for Benji Fishy, I suppose, because it might have caught him, but it sent Angel backwards as well. Decoy on its way, not going to be given any respect. Benji Fishy bypasses it, takes a fight deeper. Now there's a gate crash coming. He's seen it. He's heard it. He knows where it is, and it's destroyed. Swinging out for a fight. He knows there's a player close, but Zipan will still land the shots first. In all the meantime, Miniboo has managed to jump up top, find himself an angle, harass them a little bit, cause problems for this side of the defense. And they're breaking through into a stacked up set of players, weapons drawn, aimed, ready. And the timer already ran fully down. Heretics have done an absolutely fantastic job of pushing and pulling this defensive squad on the way back through. They gave them no space for free and punished them every step of the way, 4-1. Let's see how NAVI respond.
It's looking like for a second, maybe things would get a little bit shaky in the middle, but it's this man Miniboo again. He just causes havoc pretty much all the way through. Just being behind them, being back on mid, even lurking. It doesn't necessarily play to the norm of what I expect to see from a Yoru, but I'm definitely enjoying it. And well,
and so we've seen from NAVI aggressive A main control, particularly Angel, throwing out his paranoia whenever he hears players close. That's not where Heretics want to fight. Instead, we can see they are ready to blitz into this B site. There's no going back. They've got traps to cover aggressive pushes, but for the most part, this is going to be a commitment towards the B site, a possible mid-split. They're looking for it for now. But I like Navi's idea as well. The fact that they send these players down through middle to try to take this control, it could give them another spot.
Oh, no.
Well, not when they're caught with a smoke in hand. That's definitely going to hamper the progress.
They've already got the information on the other side as well. Zipan's going to try and pop this Hunter's Fury, but he's found absolutely nothing. And in the meantime, Miniboo has taken that space in towards the site. After plant, seemingly inevitable. And for the side of NAVI at this stage, okay, you've got Artis with his ult. That might make things interesting. I was going to say there's a small chance of him using it, but now that Zipan's found a kill, it might just be worth the risk.
He's retrieved a weapon as well, the rifle in his back pocket. That's going to spawn him, spur him forward, I should say. Flash, 2 in hand, ready to pop around the back. Decoy thrown out, the steps are being made, flashes off the wall, and he's out. No, he's not. Another flash to play, and here he comes, Shorty in hand. One found, over to the rifle. But the players on Heretics are not giving up control. We've been on board with Artis while the rest of the team was thinned out and dealt with. Miniboo finding his third to close it. And 5 rounds now sit on the board. NAVI have burned up a pause. This is their map pick. So even though Heretics get to decide what side they start on, and we could write home about this attack side, say, oh, it's the best attack we've ever seen. But Tom, if NAVI had the choice, I think it's fair to say we might have seen them start on the defense anyways.
Yeah, with how they've been playing, it really, I feel like compositionally, it would kind of make sense for them to go attack. And it would also be a very NAVI thing to just pick a less favored side anyway, but nonetheless, 5-1. And then the fact is they use one of their ults, the Dimensional Drift, because of how close that retake ended up coming, and they didn't really get much for it. Still 3 players survived. Financially, no problems for Heretics. They are just disrespecting a lot of their opponents. At least in terms of their map control, they've just walked right up mid. The same can be said for their pressure already put in towards that Hall's position. Utility taken away. That means the Artist's escape plan no longer exists, and neither does Xiao. It's a little bit labor, but Miniboo is anything but. Another kill for him. Benji goes down being aggressive, though. It's a 3v3 scenario, but the time now ticking in Heretics' favor.
If I'm not mistaken, Miniboo, just put out a gate crash there, is sitting 12 kills and 1 death. Not bad for a start. Let's see if we can double up those deaths. Well, he's coming close to doubling up the kills in just a matter of rounds. Ult already popped. Info for 1, info for 2. And now what more is there to do? Sagetsu's already very low on HP. A clean shot out of Patatech. And, well, Sagetsu doesn't know where to look. Miniboo with a 4th kill of the round, Tom. He came into this 10 kills and 1 death. Now 14 and 1. This is genuinely outrageous behavior from this young gun.
I think the thing is, the 14 kills, impressive. But considering he's playing as like that entry and, well, I would say about 80% of rounds.
That's the energy.
The fact that he's only died once is truly ridiculous. absolutely demolishing the side of NAVI at the moment. And while still waiting to see what the response is, Angel's going to go for a hero rifle. We've always said that with these Euro comps, sometimes things can become a little bit more expected, but the fact is, it's the pace. That's what's coming up for Heretics. Straight through they go already, leading the charge. Well, you guessed it, it's Miniboo once again up close, just doing so much damage, even a headshot onto Artist through the wall. Okay, his teammate's utility definitely helped a bit, but he's still got to land it.
Yeah, it's just the fact that he looks so calm when he goes into a site. Every corner cleared, every fight he needs to win, he wins. Even fights he doesn't need to win, he wins. Miniboo is one of the most impressive talents we've seen debuting at this level. That's the crazy thing about it. For all the jitters and nerves that must be there, I don't know if having your brother on the other side helps out. I don't know what his secret is. But teams need to study this guy. 23 HP on Angel. Zipman's got nothing to do. And it's Miniboo. A third kill. You can actually count the rounds he doesn't get a multi-kill on one hand. Just how do you
I feel like at this
guy?
point it might be 0.
It's 17 and 1, Tom. Of course it's 0. He's just unreal.
He might have had a round. Well, he's had some rounds of 3 or 4, so he must have had a round with 1.
Wow. 1 round? Kick him. Get him out. Put Weber back in.
Tommy, you're the fucking insane.
Well, I don't think those were the coach mics, but...
No. What you don't know is Weber is an excellent ventriloquist.
Great at accents, I gotta say. He's doing a fantastic job masking that UK accent from earlier.
He's a man of many talents.
Another
I'll
talent to be studied. I'll tell you that. Wow. Send him to Hollywood. 7-1. I might as well make movies about Miniboo at this stage. I want to see more from this guy, and we've got many more rounds
coming. It's called Rambo.
Yeah. With the abilities of the Predator as well. He's teleporting around. He's invisible at times. Even create clones of himself. 2 Miniboos on one server. No. Does that just make a boo?
Maybe. I don't know how many boos you have to divide to get a Miniboo, but at the moment it's looking like a Miniboo might be an ironic name, and he's actually much bigger because there's frags on the server. We were saying it's between them at the moment, 1 and 2. I can tell you who's number 1 now, and I don't need to look at the stats. 45 seconds on the clock. Already the information being found. Artist is gone. His impact was paramount in the last 2 times they played this map. He has been silenced. A peek through is expected, but Angel, what? Win the first, and I don't even know how he's seen that second. Looking to try and take the game into his own hands with support from Xiao. Leaving things possible, but now Rien steps up. Turns out Miniboo might have just been stealing his frags all along, because now he's on for the ace.
Xiao, if he can get close, that pick could go up, but it's a little late in the game to be worrying about that, especially with Xiao down. Sagetsu, 1 more to put it across the line to double Navi's round count. It has been a really tough game for this defensive side. It's not getting any easier. I thought Patatek had the kill. The trigger discipline, it got the better of him. The Sagetsu's got it in the end. A second round for Navi, a lifeline extended their way, but they need many more. 7-5, the best score possible at the half. Well, they're a long way from it.
Yeah, it's still a very real possibility of a resurgence. Both halves 8-4 in the last map.
30 seconds
So
left.
it's definitely not over. And I don't think NAVI are a team to give up in any of these sort of scenarios. You don't have a man at Angel at the helm and never be in a position where you could lose the match. The fact is, though, I do think NAVI fans are going to be nervous. The other question is, can Miniboo keep this up? Because he's 17-2 right now. If he goes amiss, maybe this game turns.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think it's fair to say most of their rounds have been found through his hands, through his plays. There's ridiculous success rate in finding control over these sites. He'll attempt to do it yet again, and the opening is Rien.
Standing. They've given up mid, and he's just stood in one of the only angles he's open to everything, with a smoke in hand. And now, well, they can just swarm onto the site. There's too many people to even aim at. Rien's has now come up with a triple, but Navi look lost.
I'm truly lost as to the game plan there. It's I want to say a small gap, but it's a pretty big gap to leave wide open. Even saving this weapon seems next to impossible. And there you go, Benji puts that final nail into the coffin for Navi. We talked about a chance with that previous round, a way back in, and they lose it to that, to just contacting up mid. And as well as that, add to it, they put the poison orb up. It's not like this was just dry contact, no util. You're hearing that, you're seeing it with any mid control. With even a glance from Angel to the right, he'll see a poison orb and think, okay, we haven't got control there. But just that blindside.
They have done this multiple times. Like, it's not like they've been completely avoiding mid the entirety of the game, and then they've just gone, oh, that's a surprise. Like, this is something they've been doing throughout.
I want to try something different, but that hasn't worked out. Navi now left with nothing, just a few pistols. As Heretics, their economy is sitting pretty, ultis are coming online, and we're in the home stretch of this half. 2 rounds left to compete for. Double digits still possible for Heretics before they even touch the defensive side.
Haven't sent much in towards the B site. It's mostly been this A site takes leading the charge. No surprise. Minibu already taking the space. There's a quick flank coming through. Now Angel is going to be able to bypass this trip, but it would leave his teammate out to dry. He's hoping that maybe someone gives him an angle, never mind. That's the ultimate bait. You just walk straight into it. That's how you fool your opponents. Artist instead, he's looking to try and get his teammates information, but the fact is they're losing every single battle, and he might just have to try and get out of there. Left alone, he's going to get absolutely nothing done. Angel is the only one to find the kill, make it a second, but his position is just not one where he could get any real value. It would have to be massive mistakes and, well, flashes, fragments, util being expended. A bit of an overpace in the end, but the time had already ticked far too gone. 9-2, Heretics making this one look easy. And well, at this point I almost feel like Navi are relying on curses if they're going to make it to Madrid.
It's not over yet. They're still alive, but they're barely breathing. This side of Navi on the defense has fallen to pieces. I don't know what I can realistically expect to change in this last round. 9-3. The building blocks will barely be forming the foundations. At least they have that Viper's Pit to play with. It will be activated just in time. At least locks down one angle for this squad. Again, Dangerous being Minibu, capable of bypassing it, capable also of popping his ultimate, the human recon dart, to reveal them. Rien's one away from finding himself the ultimate himself. The Hunter's Fury combined with Minibu, well, that could certainly cause a headache for Shao.
My ult is ready.
I think that's what they're going to do. Oh, they're stepping back.
Maybe wanting to wait a second. Artists, they have definitely seen that. Well, they're actually just going to destroy it, not try and play with it at all. Clearly having their own plans in mind. And to be honest, they don't need to rely on getting an entry kill on something like that. They've been fantastic at breaking their opponents apart. Viper's Pit's locking down an angle, but they are very much waiting around it. And the fact is, support is a minimum. The one thing that could get in their way is Zipan with that Hunter's Fury. But this bait has worked perfectly. Shoulder fake, move players away. They're hunting for where Shao is going to be, removing him from that pit completely. Already they've spotted out Zipan as well. He's getting picked up by utilities, being pushed by Minibu. It is sublime from the side of Heretics. They have thought of everything, even leaving Padatech behind to catch one on the rotate.
Welcome to my
And then the Viper's Pit comes on as well. I mean, this is a textbook round for Team Heretics. The way they pulled the map, the lurk they left, the ultimate, the taking the orb into faking A, putting their Viper wall there, flashing out, and then catching these players completely unaware on the A site. There was no way that was going to work out. 10 rounds for the side of Team Heretics. A roster that coming into VCT had the respect of almost no one. Expectations couldn't go any lower. Bottom of most tier lists, and here they are, showing that they might not only be able to go pound for pound, toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the world. Remember, NAVI, with or without Artists, take your pick. 5 international events in a row. And now Heretics debuting with some young talent. One of them not even being able to make it here in person, and they are close to going all the way. In fact, it's unlikely NAVI get anywhere close to a comeback.
I think you have to look at it this way. a team like Foot, I would say, took one gamble on a youngster. It's arguable that Heretics, well, made 4 gambles. They made a gamble bringing Patatek back in. They made a gamble after last year with Boo. Everything could be seen as a risk, and, well, it looks like they've hit green. Everything on point, but NAVI are never out. It may seem that way at this point. They've started off the pistol with an opening onto Miniboo. This is where this composition could be a little bit more difficult. They've proven it in the last map that they can still thrive, with the likes of Benji really stepping up for that defensive side. But for now, at least, they sit at a disadvantage.
There's only a minute left on the clock, and there's no control to the side of NAVI towards this A side. It's being fully pushed up by Heretics. The defense is going well to start with. Patatek on one, and an awkward fight. Boo is traded eventually, and that removes most of the utility that they're worried about on their way through the site. Easy plant found, and well, that flank that came through earlier on to push through halls, it's at least found one. I actually thought Benji was going to be spotted. Zipbound was going back to check it, but a well-won fight and a chance now for this squad of Heretics. This pistol round, I mean, it would surely seal the fate of NAVI. Heretics would be just steps away, 3 rounds from Madrid already. But NAVI still have Shao and Sagetsu. Sagetsu, though, might be caught off guard. Never mind. The fight taken first. Rienz is spotted and almost traded out. He didn't even get the first kill. Benji now surely doesn't stand a chance. The time too low with 2 players left. And a quick shot from Sagetsu seals it. NAVI, they're not out of it, but they're certainly far behind.
Yeah, I think for the most part, they're going to have a huge step up across the board. And I almost feel like on the other side of things, Heretics would have to just start feeling that pressure now. They didn't feel it when they were 10-4 down on the last map. They didn't feel it after they won the first map, coming into map 2. But maybe somehow, if it just came out of the blue, that might help out NAVI a little bit, but I wouldn't be holding my breath if I was a NAVI fan right now. Still, though, this round is not going to have much. In fact, it's not going to have anything. Just classics across the board for Heretics, just saving their money. They've got such a huge advantage here. I don't mind it at all.
The idea to stack up a wise one. Numbers advantage on A for Heretics. Numbers advantage on B for NAVI. Because they've chosen the right side, at least for now. Mid push, blitz into B, bypass the main choke point, the main utility, which is where a lot of the problems can be, right? Players tucked in on B with shorties, stuff like that. Well, this route up through mid and into the site, you completely avoid all of those close range angles. You're never really expecting someone to be at the wall taking a fight with a shorty or anything like that. And the wall gives them so much control, decoy baiting in. Benji's done well to hide for now. Good kill! What? 2 for Benji! Miniboo's got another, and then he's forced him back, and it's actually killed Angel! Sagetsu's last alive, and I cannot believe what I'm witnessing! They did nothing! They didn't invest! They thought they were playing for the next round, and instead, they've only got 1 kill between them.
They can just hide.
And an 11-3, 18 seconds, rifle for Benji. No need to peek. No need to give Sagetsu a chance, and with 45 HP, he barely stands a chance on his way in. 8 seconds,
there's no time.
Picked up a rifle, 1 kill, close, but Benji, too good from this position. He had a classic, and he killed 3 of them. For NAVI, if you weren't feeling the pressure, if you weren't feeling out, you will now. That is ridiculous.
It's such a nasty setup. They just put Boo's screen down so that they run through it, they take some damage, and he can just right-click both of them. It's a setup that relies almost purely around them doing exactly what they did. Well,
what do we discuss, Tom? What do we discuss? Oh, look, they're going mid, Tom. They're avoiding the choke point, Tom. They're avoiding the corner where the guy can sit with a pistol and kill you, Tom. But they didn't do that. They ran into the corner anyways. I mean, you had to clear it. I guess you had to clear it. Oh, that's tragic. That is absolutely tragic for the side of NAVI. For Heretics, hey. 2 rounds from Madrid. Off the back of classics. And now, well, NAVI don't get to do the same trick, hide in the corner and let them push you, because they're on the attack. So these two rifles, Angel and Sagetsu, are going to hope that Artis can open some space up. Maybe remove some of these traps by putting a bullet in Benji's head, because he's been a real problem for this squad.
Information's there. Artis. Ooh, he takes the risk. He doesn't really get the space he was hoping for, and now getting spammed down. Now, Heretics has taken a lot of damage in response. Down to just 5 HP. And somehow this is a much better opportunity for NAVI in this round. Xiao just going to try and expend some of those snake bites, try and delay as much as possible. Paranoia still available as well for Angel.
Big Paranoia. I mean, it's not being followed up on. Miniboo still finding the kill, but a snake bite on Patatek. Some kills coming their way, and look how quickly it falls out of their hands. Just Sagetsu with... okay. I actually thought he killed the first guy. Miniboo was on 5 health. Everybody was low. But unfortunately, not low enough. 12-3. I can't believe I'm going to have to listen to Uli talk about this for the next 3 years. We are 12-3. NAVI not losing this series like we accepted was a possibility. They are being shut out of this second map. Their map pick.
Just to put it into perspective, Boo last year, the only man there for the whole year. The team finished right near the bottom in the regular season. They bring in Benji. They finish last in LCQ.
Rub it in.
They bring in Miniboo, Riens, and obviously Woot from the tier 2. Woot not old enough to play, so Patatek comes from the tier 2 as well. They play their first tournament, and they are 1 round from being in the top 2 of teams in EMEA and making it to an international event with the majority of their players at 18 and 19 years old. This would be one of the most ridiculous things, one of the biggest upsets, and one of the biggest surprises I think we've ever had in EMEA history. For now, they need just 1, and they come in with the better buy. They come in with matching ultimates to the other side. Boo's the first one to come under pressure. I say that, Angel is almost dead already.
Well, they've changed direction, but they haven't caused the rotates they think they have, Tom. There's still 3 players here. We can see Miniboo in position. They know about him with the decoy. And they know about him with the shot as well. Good connection by Artis. But an immediate response. Shock dart through from Zipban. Numbers stay to NAVI. A fantastic recon that's cleared out nothing.
Don't want me.
On the upside,
30 seconds left.
he doesn't have to take a fight. He can take his time now. Let his teammates reroute. He'll have a recon up in a little bit if he can stay alive behind yellow. The retake attempt, Benji, Fishy, Patatek, and Riens, some utility, both flashes for Patatek. Still a nade to work with as well. And a nice opening shot. Zipban's down, numbers are even.
Oh, he's gonna get tight.
He's gotta be panicking right now. 45 HP on Sagetsu. And he's being revealed. They know exactly where he is, but he's still able to win 1 fight. Thinning out the numbers, the time now ticking away. NAVI seem to have this one in the bag. A big play needed, and time is of the essence. Perhaps even needing to stick it to half already. It's going to be attempted. It's body blocked, but Patatek now alone. And Xiao's just about to swing through to finish the round, keeping it alive for NAVI. 8 in a row. One hell of a task.
If anyone could do it, it'd probably be them, but at the same time, we have not seen the same NAVI that we have witnessed throughout the tournament. The FPX that managed to win themselves a Masters seems like a long, long way away. And right now, the new blood of Valorant leading the charge. Rien's going to invest into the Outlaw, a judge for Boo. This is definitely not the best purchase, but at the same time, you can see he's playing close. You don't know what he'll get away with after what we've seen so far in this match.
Angel's in trouble. That's the Outlaw looking at him. It has a gap around the smoke as well, and it's found its mark. Angel down to the new gun. The damage would have been enough, but the kill removes a very valuable piece of utility for NAVI. They haven't put their Viper wall down yet, though. Still the potential to change how this map looks later on.
NAVI don't have much space to play with. They are making their way up mid, but again, the cams from Benji just spotting out all of that information. A cage available to defend himself, but maybe he doesn't need defending. With the snake bite on him, he gets aggressive. Goes for the peek, the flash through is perfect. The shot's not so much, but he's done the damage anyway. No trade just yet on the shout, but even still, only one man standing. Sugetsu to try and save them. With 40 seconds left, the run-through coming in. He's actually committed a full spray in onto the fake-out. The jitters, the nerves, as he has to try and do everything. The information there, just to try and find anything, but the problem is, 20 seconds left. He has to get onto that spike. And Heretics, they are not overcommitting. They are not overfacing. They are showing that resilience. They are showing that team play that we've seen throughout.
10 seconds
And now,
left.
they look to retake together.
It's a formality, surely. They know exactly where he's planted. They've been boxed in, and fittingly, Miniboo's the one to deal the final blow. This VCT rookie is gonna have all eyes on him as